Hi everyone and welcome back to Rachel's Enchanting Cakes. Now today I'm going to show you how to turn your milk chocolate gold. This does not affect the taste at all, but just look how stunning it really is. There's a little surprise also hidden inside this egg. And if you are wanting to make your own Easter eggs maybe this year, or just make it as a simple decorative cake topper, I'm going to show you just how easy the moulds are to use. As always, everything you need to know in a simple step-by-step format. Let's make a start. So the mould I am using today is a BWB mould. Now these come in so many different shapes, as you can see on the images on the packaging. But what I love about these is you actually get 3 parts. So this is the part that you're going to be putting your chocolate in, and there will be a fill line so you know just exactly how much chocolate to add. You would then be pushing that chocolate down with this more flexible mould that slots directly into the centre, which allows the chocolate to come up evenly against the sides. And then finally you place this on the top, flip it upside down and refrigerate. How cool is that? I am using Aldi's Dairy Fine milk chocolate. Now in total we'll be using 250 gram, 125 gram for each half of the egg. Now you'll notice I've split this into 2 sections. So roughly a quarter of that chocolate is just going to be chopped up and left in a bowl to one side. And the larger amount is going to be chopped up and melted. Now this is a very quick way to temper chocolate. So start by chopping up the chocolate and place them in separate bowls. The smaller the pieces, the better. So what's the easy way to temper chocolate? I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have never used a thermometer to do this. I do it by eye. So in the large Pyrex dish, we are going to be melting that chocolate on short 10-second bursts on a medium heat in the microwave. So we end up with this. You must do it on short 10-second bursts. It does not take much to melt chocolate. You then add the quarter of the amount of chocolate that we left chopped up directly to your melted chocolate and simply stir this in until it's completely melted. This is cooling down your chocolate faster, and that is all tempering is. You need to be using the chocolate when it reaches a certain temperature. But by doing it this way, you are not overheating the chocolate. You're being very careful when you melt it. And by adding this to cool it down fast, I have never had any issue. Because of the shape of the mould I am using, I have placed it in a bowl, just so that when I add the chocolate it remains perfectly flat. Once you have added all of your tempered chocolate, simply pick up the mould a couple of times and gently drop it back into that bowl or onto your surface, depending on the shape of the mould you are using. This will just help to get rid of some of the air bubbles. Take the flexible part of the mould, so part 2, and I just gently push this down slightly, and then I take the final piece of the mould to keep this in shape and push all the way down, and you will end up with completely even sized all around the rim of this egg. Simply turn this upside down and place in your fridge for about 10 minutes. So to get it out of the mould, it will just need a few gentle taps, because when chocolate has been tempered, it actually sets and starts to come away from the mould. That's when you know it's ready. To take out the inside, you want to be a bit more careful, because obviously we're going to have to turn this upside down. And you see the flexible piece just there? I simply peel that away. Now with that excess chocolate that came out of the top, one really good thing about this mould, it just sticks to this piece of excess, so you end up with a completely flawless chocolate egg. You simply want to repeat this process with another 125 grams of chocolate for the other half of the egg, or if you wanted to, You could even leave it like this because it's absolutely stunning. So here are my 2 pieces of tempered chocolate, and you can see how lovely and shiny they are. So even if you don't want to turn them gold, they will look beautiful just like this. I then place it back into a Pyrex dish with 1/2 in the mould. And I'm choosing to add some marshmallows. However, you can add all sorts of different sweets depending on who it's for or the occasion. But you can add things inside the actual egg. Now what I love about this mould is it makes it very easy to simply attach the other piece on top and keep it flawless. So here I have a number 2 piping nozzle. The number 1 was a bit too small. And I simply go around the rim with some melted chocolate before applying the second piece directly to the top. In order to allow this to stand upright, I have simply placed some melted chocolate directly onto some baking paper, and I add the egg directly to the top, and I simply secure this into place with a few glasses. You could use cups, just whilst the chocolate sets. Whilst that is setting in the fridge, we're going to make a start on the edible paint. You're going to need some dipping solution. You cannot use water. Here I am using a Regency Gold by Faycarl, and you're also going to need a large brush. Now the dipping solution is pure ethanol, which is alcohol, and it will evaporate. It will just leave behind the luster dust but will not affect the chocolate or taste in any way. It's very easy to make. I simply added some of the luster dust to 2 sections on my palette because I want to make enough for each half, and then a very small amount of the dipping solution. I then use a finer brush just to stir it, and remember the paint will gradually start to get thicker as you use it because the alcohol is constantly evaporating. So you may find you need to add a little bit more dipping solution just to make it go that little bit further. All you need to do then is start painting this. Now remember, the alcohol's going to evaporate. It will still taste of milk chocolate. It won't have a funny taste left behind. But as the alcohol evaporates, it's actually leaving behind that beautiful Regency Gold luster dust. I do add something else. Now it's not essential and it does make a little bit of a mess on the camera, but it gives it that extra sparkle and is stunning. So I'll show you the final product, but this is the basic principle to making gold chocolate. This stunning edible glitter dust, which is in gold by Claire Bowman, I simply add this directly to the chocolate egg. Now we've already got that edible luster, but I do find that this adds just that little bit extra added sparkle. It really is as simple as that to make gold chocolate or even silver chocolate. Remember, there's so many different colours you could do. Rose, copper, you name it. Happy baking, everyone. I really do hope I've helped you again today. A very simple process, but at the end of the day, it looks absolutely amazing. And I'll be back soon with more new, completely free content.